Good afternoon. Come take a walk with me on an old wagon road and see some local history here. I'm Jim Wright with Georgia on Location. I'm here at the East Bowman Island Trails in Sugar Hill, Georgia. On this trail, there are some awesome things to see. There's this old wagon road, which is behind me. There's waterfalls, there's boulders, there's huge ravines and mountains to climb. This is truly one of my favorite gems of a trail in the area because of those things. Before we get going, I want to thank Mayor Brandon Hembry of Sugar Hill. He had posted about this trail. It's truly a wonderful place to be. So enjoy this Georgia on Location about East Bowman Island Trails. So let's go hit the trail. East Bowman Island Trail is a little-known hiking area in the Chattahoochee River National Recreation Area just off Island Ford Road near Lanier Middle School and Buford Dam. Most people know the other Bowman's Island Trail because they are at the bottom of Buford Dam and in a park. To get to this trail from East Bank Park and Lanier Middle School, head west on Buford Dam Road, just past the middle school, make a left onto Island Ford Road. Stay on that for less than a mile. Just before you enter the Laurel Park neighborhood on the right, you will see the parking area. It is right next to Island Ford Baptist Church. This trail has one main trail that is an out and back of 2.2 miles. You follow an old wagon road that early residents would use to get to the Chattahoochee River and cross it at Bowman's Island, hence the name of the road, Island Ford. The main trail is well maintained and is pretty level until you descend into the valley to the river. However, if you are adventurous, you can take numerous side trails that are a little more rigorous for travel. And I've tried to mark a few of these throughout my this video clip. On this trail, you will see remnants of life, the foundations of an old, long-gone home, water wells, a broken down El Camino, and the potential for many waterfalls. The reason for this is that this trail is on a very narrow ridge, and the sides of the ridge are very steep, and many of the micro creeks that flow are steep as well, leading to waterfalls. But I would only recommend seeing these waterfalls after a heavy rain. In other times, they would most certainly be dry. So let's go ahead and get on the trail. All right, our first trail juncture occurs at 0.17 mile as we start from the parking lot. It will be on your left. You'll see I have marked the trails with green and white tape. I like to call this the Richland Creek Trail because if you go left on the trail behind me, you're going to go down the ravine and you're going to come to a small feeder stream. On the small feeder stream in heavy water, you probably are going to see some cascades, some waterfalls. Eventually, about a mile in, you'll intersect with Richland Creek. You'll take that downstream and it'll intersect back with the main trail. At 0.22 mile, you will come to the second trail junction. I like to call this the El Camino Trail because on this trail you will see an El Camino about 0.6 miles from this spot right here, an old abandoned El Camino. So what you're going to do is you'll see another mile or trail marker with green and white tape, and you'll make a right. This trail will take you about another mile. You'll go all the way down to the Chattahoochee River. There's also a waterfall on this trail, but it requires a lot of off-roading. So if you are the adventurous spirit during heavy water events, you could come and see waterfalls on this trail. To reach the El Camino, stay on the trail for about a half mile. You'll see a huge 3-trunk tree to the right off the trail, and one of the trunks has fallen. Stop here and look for a pile of rocks to the right of the trail just past the tree. Go straight towards that pile and begin walking off trail, straight for about 1/10 of a mile, and you will see the El Camino resting against a tree. Return the way you came to intersect with the trail. Continue on the trail for about 3/4 of a mile, and you will see an awesome vista on your descent to the river. You will see a feeder stream that will lead you to the river. If you want to do the waterfall trail, you will follow that feeder stream up until it ends and then turn right to intersect with the El Camino Trail. Go back to the main trail. You can go left to go home or go right to see more awesome stuff. I live close to this trail so I can break it down and do different parts on different days. You might have to do that. There is so much to see and do here on this trail. Now let's get back on the main trail and go to the water well and the homestead ruins. At 0.33 mile on the right, you will see a stone wall behind me, which could be evidence of an old homestead that was here. Uh, Near here is a 40-foot water well, and you'll see footage of me putting the GoPro down there and getting to the bottom of it. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. This is the second water well on the trail. The first one is found right off the trail at the beginning. I have found 3 of them. 2 of them are covered with this wood to prevent anyone from falling in. As you can see, it goes pretty deep. I had a 30-foot piece of paracord that was tied to a 3-foot long selfie stick, and I still didn't reach the bottom. So my best guess is 40 feet or more. All right, the final trail juncture that I'm going to talk about today is the waterfall trail. This would probably be the best waterfall you could see. I would still wait until a good heavy rainfall to see it. We're going to go down the trail behind me. Once again, it's marked with green and white tape. Maybe a quarter of a mile, and you'll see a spring off to the right of the trail. And then the spring where it flows is a cascading waterfall that goes down the ravine. Eventually, it will meet up with the Chattahoochee River. At 0.45 miles, you'll make a right onto this, what I like to call the waterfall trail. So let's go ahead and go. So after maybe a little over a tenth of a mile on that side trail, you would reach this spring. It is flowing much more when there is heavy rain that have occurred. But what you can see is as I pan up, you're going to see, looks like an old roadway right above me that you can hike up to the ravine or hike up to the hill. But if I follow the spring, you see it leads to a stream, and eventually you would get to where the waterfall is. So I'm gonna walk just a little bit down this way and not trip over anything. Okay, and you see where that big tree is that goes across this creek. You would go around that tree, and there's a goat path, and that would lead you to the waterfall. And it's probably about 50 or 60 feet in length, but it just cascades down the ravine. Once you're done, come back the way you came, go back on the main trail, and continue on. Okay, so we're going to get back on the main trail and hike the ridge down into the river valley below. I do want to note that there are many off the beaten path trails bushwhacking you could do. You could follow multiple micro creeks down into the river valley. There are some huge rock boulders not far off the main trail, and you could scramble down the hill to meet up with the Richland Creek and make a big circle. There's a trail that goes down the hill that I recognize with a huge tree. I would also advise if you are going off trail, make sure you can navigate your way back. I have a GPS watch that tracks and maps my route, so I use it for navigation. Just be careful going off trail. Anyways, so we stay on the trail for about 3/4 of a mile and descend into the river valley. At this point, you will see an old washer at a T-junction. If we go right, we will get to the Chattahoochee River just below Bowmans Island. If we go left, we will get to Richland Creek. On our last water well, we want to go left. Go maybe 25-50 yards and look up the hill on the left. You will see all kinds of rock piles. I don't know what they are or what they represent, but at this point, go left of the trail and begin bushwhacking. I would say somewhere around 25 yards, you will come to the third water well that I found. For this one, please, please, please be careful when hiking, especially with children, because this one isn't covered and it's a good 30-foot deep well. There's a real possibility of falling in it. So that about does it for one of my favorite hikes in my local area. It's really such an awesome hike, and I'm just glad to be able to enjoy this. And I know that I probably didn't cover everything that has to do with this hike, but I hope you get out there, hike this place, and enjoy. If you like this content, please like, subscribe, comment on social media, and have a wonderful day. Bye.